This is your value scale worksheet that you are going to complete. You will need a pencil and a blending stump. That is the white thing sitting to the side of my paper. You are going to start with white. You're going to leave that box empty. The next box I'm working on right there is a very light shade of gray. So I'm pressing really lightly when I'm doing my light shades. It's more about the pressure of the pencil. You are not pressing very hard. And then I take my blending stump and I blend it all together to give it that nice smooth look. I am holding my pencil on its side. Notice it's not up and down. It's not the way you hold your pencil regularly. You want to make sure you are using the side of your pencil. If you're using the tip of your pencil, it is not, you're going to get frustrated. It's not going to work very well. So there I am using the side. Each time I color a new box, I press a little bit harder and I do a few more layers to get a darker value as I go. So I'm starting with white. Each time I press a little bit harder, I add a little bit more of the graphite, and then I use my blending stump to smooth it out. And I'm kind of cleaning up my edges there because I want it nice and neat. And then the last one is going to be the darkest value. So I'm pressing harder and I go over my pencil a couple times to make sure I get the darkest value that I can. So when you look at your value scale, it should get a little bit darker with each box. So I'm kind of seeing how those look a little bit the same. So I'm trying to erase it, and then I'm cleaning off my blending stump because if it has too much graphite on there, it's going to be really dark when you go to use it. So the next one is stippling. Stippling is just making dots. My first one's going to stay plain white. My second one there, I have a few dots, and then with each box, I'm just going to make more and more dots, and you're going to be able to tell how it goes from light to dark just depending on the amount of dots that I am making. So this one's kind of fun. They don't have to be perfect dots. You're just kind of speckling your paper. Now keep in mind, this video is sped up. This is not me working in regular time. It is going to take you longer than it is taking the sped up version of me. But if you look, you can see how when the dots get closer together, the values get darker. And I'm moving to my very last one here. And what I do is it's kind of the same way when I did the top scale. I'm just creating several different layers. So I do my dots and then I go over it again and then I go over it again and then I go over it again until I look at it and it looks like each box is a little bit darker than the next box. And where it says white, you're not going to put anything in that box. The next one I'm going to do is hatching or cross hatching. I do hatching. Hatching is just drawing diagonal lines. I'm starting off light and with the lines far apart. And then I increase the pressure of my pencil to make them darker and the lines get closer together. So lighter pressure further apart to darker pressure and closer together. And there I am again cleaning up my edges because I don't want my paper to look super sloppy. Okay, so the next one I'm doing is shading a sphere, and some of this is getting cut off in the video, but if you can see the shadow on the one that's done for you, there we go, now we can see it better. It is very dark. It is the darkest value. So if we were on a value scale of 1 to 10, that would be a 10. So I'm making sure I'm making that as dark as I can. Then we have that little side right there that is also very dark. So I am matching that darkness right there. And I am going to just gradually shade out, and I'm getting lighter as I go. And here I go again, shading where you cannot see, but there we go. And you're looking back and forth between both papers, and you are trying to match the value you see in the example as close as possible. I know right now mine all kind of looks the same, but I am using a lighter pressure as I go out, and I'm really not pressing as hard. That is kind of the key. And then I'm going to use my blending stump to go in there and blend. There we go. There's my blending stump. So I'm going to blend all those colors together. So, or not colors, values together. So it's a gradual transition. And then my blending stump is kind of dirty. So I got too much graphite on the paper. So I'm going to go back in there with my pencil and kind of erase it so I have that light, like kind of like that reflection at the top of my page. And that's it.